All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out the Rich Celenza Show. So, what I'm going to call today's podcast is There's Always an Excuse. And one of the reasons I bring this up is because I've been doing a lot of different things with my marketing of my program, other things as well, my YouTube channel, my podcast. And, I come across a lot of people who are always telling me, why they can't do certain things. Kind of always coming up with an excuse or excuses why things didn't work out the way they thought or the way they planned. I get it. Stuff happens, right? 100%. I remember a while ago me talking to somebody. And I remember something they said to me and I'll never forget. And I was explaining myself. And after a while, this person just called me out and they said, everything you talk about, there's always an excuse why it's not happening. Or why it didn't happen. And I'll never forget that. And, I think what a lot of people have to understand, I think in life in general, is, not only, we hear this all the time, stop coming up with excuses. The reality is a lot of times there are things you're not going to be able to accomplish. For certain budgets, in a certain amount of time, you just may be able not to do what you planned on doing or you thought you could do. It's just part of life. But I also think a lot of people kind of cop out. They don't get creative. And they don't really have the drive or the consistency or the confidence to believe in themselves that they can actually do a lot of things that they can do. And, I think one thing, too, when it comes to excuses is it's kind of a cop-out a lot of times. I really do believe that. Especially if you're going to start talking about, maybe in relationships, friendships, even at your workplace or something doesn't work out. Again, I get not everything always works out, but they're kind of, we always have in the back of our head, I think a lot of times that like something that's building up that excuse, or you're kind of looking for all the wrong that can go wrong so you can use it to your advantage when it does kind of go wrong. Instead of actually kind of squashing that and everything that kind of comes your way, figuring out a way on how not for it to be an excuse. So you kind of turn it on its head a little bit, as I would like to say. And the reason I want to do this podcast is because if you are out there somebody trying to create different things, it could be even a different lifestyle, a different identity. It could be a business, or you could be going through things at work where you kind of find yourself always coming up with excuses, or others that keep giving you excuses. It's kind of daunting to be on both sides. And I've been there. I've been somebody too who's used excuses myself to say, well, I don't have this. I don't have, this didn't line up, or this person couldn't do this for me, or all this type of shit. And I get it. But, at the end of the day, here's the deal. People only, I believe, a lot of times care about the end result. We want to sometimes bring in all the backstory, or all the frustrations, or all the things we had to go to make certain things happen. If you can kind of cut through all the bullshit and just look at the end, and look at what you've done at the end or what you've accomplished, is what you really need to focus in on, not anything else. Like, nobody has to know everything about everything you're doing when you're doing a certain project, or just doing anything in general. But a lot of us almost want to bog others down or ourselves down, or almost prove to ourselves that it's complicated or more frustrating. And here's the deal, man. If things were easy, everybody would get them accomplished. So you got to understand, a lot of things that you want to do is going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of probably failure. It's going to take a lot of maybe embarrassment. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be all those damn things. You have to understand that. Talking about things and doing things and accomplishing things, it's just such a different level. I used to talk about that all the time, even when people would even critique. I'm like, it's easy to critique. It's not easy to create. It's like two different worlds. But if you're somebody who just kind of sits in the back and that is always kind of critiquing everybody's work, or kind of judging them, when you actually haven't done anything yourself really that's great, or never taken on something at a much higher level, then you don't know what it's about. And I've gone through that in my past too. I was kind of really one of those guys who was always able to kind of, I can't say put people down, but kind of look at everybody and go, wow, this could have been done a lot better if you did this, or why don't you do that? Or, all these type of things, when in reality, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what it took to do a lot of things. I just assumed I did. I didn't realize all the hard work, all the dedication, maybe even the money and the frustration again, and all those things to get things done. But as time went on, I learned, and maybe you're somebody on both sides of this. I don't know if you're always coming up with excuses or if you're somebody who always has to deal with somebody who's giving you excuses. It's daunting to be on either side. But the truth is, at the end of the day, no one gives a shit. You have to get done what you have to get done. Everything else is nonsense. No one really cares a lot of times. It's almost like in football, say, you have to go the 99 yards or whatever amount of yards to get there. They want to see a touchdown. They want to see points on the board. All right? That's kind of how I think if you want to succeed at something, how you have to look at things and really just stop coming up with excuses why you can't get things done. So, that's my vent regarding that today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up whenever. This is kind of a shorter one. What else did I want to mention regarding this? There was something else, but I kind of drifted there. But if you have any questions or comments, just hit me up like I said, and stop coming up with excuses.